One of the more popular trout streams in Wyoming, actually the U.S., is Flat Creek, which sits on the National Elk Refuge just outside of Jackson. Trophy Snake River Cutthroat are the angler's target, so to make sure habitat stays intact and productive for these fish, Flat Creek is getting a new look, so to speak. This stretch of Flat Creek moves irrigation water from the Grovant River through the Elk Refuge to points downstream. Back in the 1970s and 80s, large amounts of fine sediment were deposited in this stretch, causing stream banks to erode and move about, affecting the quality of spawning areas and other fish habitat. Habitat structures were installed in the 1980s to create additional hiding cover for trout, but those structures need replacing. Ryan Collier is with Biota Research and Consulting in Jackson.
The structures that were installed in the early 80s, they weren't allowing the stream to heal itself naturally. And you would expect it to heal itself naturally, but it could take hundreds of years, especially with the altered flow regime and fine sediment inputs that are put in from the Grovant River. So removing those old structures and then encouraging the stream along the right path so that it can then support, sustain, and heal itself in the long term is really the objective out here.
The Flat Creek Enhancement project will treat a total of 3.5 miles of prime stream access for anglers. The final product will offer more meanders, undercut banks, and deep pools to hold more of the hefty trout Flat Creek is famous for. Wyoming Game and Fish Department aquatic habitat biologist Anna Senecal in Jackson says Game and Fish was in a good position to serve as a relationship builder between interests that all have the same goal, to maximize this fishery's potential.
Flat Creek is an amazing public fishery. There are very few places close to Jackson where we have this much latitude to work with a stream that still has control of its floodplain, that can still move, and that's open and accessible to the public. This is a resource that is paramount for not only the cutthroat fishery and spawning habitat, but also for accessibility, for people being able to experience that resource and to catch a native cutthroat trout in the Snake River drainage.
Flat Creek is only open to anglers from August 1st through October 30th, but anglers across the U.S. see it as a destination spot for their pastime. The project is a partnership between Jackson Hole Trout Unlimited, Wyoming Game and Fish Department, Snake River Fund, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, Patagonia, Teton Conservation District, Teton County Weed and Pest, and the National Elk Refuge. This is Ray Hageman with the Wyoming Game and Fish Department.